Hello everyone, and welcome back for another Sierra Sunday. So this week on Seven Wonders is another free choice week. So last week's video was supposed to be a lot longer than it actually was. I'm sure for those of you who watched, you noticed that my video ended kind of suddenly. And it's because I was going to talk to you about another summer experience that I had, but my video was too long, so I had to delete the other experience, which I was so mad about. My second summer experience, it was the amazing Tours Not on Fire, which for those of you who don't know, it's a live show put on by Dan Howell and Phil Lester, which I'm sure many of you know who they are, obviously. And if you don't, I'm very sad for you. Like, please go watch them, enlighten your life a little bit. Anyway, so I know there's a couple videos on YouTube already about everyone's Tatinof experience, but my show was quite interesting, so I thought I would share that with you. So let's get started. Originally, I was not going to go to Tatinof. I live in Las Vegas, and at first, Dan and Phil did not add a Vegas show when they initially released the dates for this. So I was like, okay, this doesn't apply to me. Why am I gonna buy a ticket to go to another state, right? So then a few months after that, they're like, hey, ha ha ha, on June 12th, we're gonna be in Las Vegas. Of course they were going to Vegas, right? And at that point, I was still kind of unsure if I wanted to go or not, because I was like, well, I'm going to VidCon this year, I'm probably gonna meet them, like, what's the point? So I was going through a Tumblr tag. I don't even know what I was going through. I was on Tumblr and I was reading about everyone's experiences at the show. And this summer, like I said in previous videos, was very interesting for me because it was kind of the summer where I finally said to myself, like, Sierra, stop missing out on things. These are amazing things that you can be a part of, but you're just choosing not to go. So I went online and I was trying to find the cheapest ticket, and there was a seat that was maybe 10-15 rows from the stage, and I was like, okay, awesome, but there was only one seat left, so that meant that I was going to have to go by myself. This is a side note. The reason why I love our generation right now is because we don't have to go to these things alone. We can like just talk to each other on any social media platform and pretty much just like meet each other and become friends before we even meet in person. I started talking to a girl on Tumblr and her name was Stacy. I was really trying hard to meet people who were going to the Vegas show. The only problem was that I was only meeting people who were about 14 to 16, and I'm 19 years old, so that was kind of awkward for me. And then I started talking to Stacy, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm 19 too, like I'm in college. I was like, God bless my soul right now. June 12th finally rolled around, and it was kind of an emotionally conflicting day for me. I'm sure all of you remember where you were when you heard the news on June 12th that there was a mass shooting in an Orlando nightclub, and I'm sure all of you felt what I was feeling that morning when I woke up. I was absolutely terrified because Vegas is another one of those cities where you just see a lot of LGBTQ plus pride. Just like, oh my goodness, what if something bad happens at the show tonight? So I was excited to go see Dan and Phil that day, but I was also really, really scared. I got there about an hour before the show started, and I managed to find my way inside, luckily, and get somewhere that was like kind of safe and around other people. But I still could not find Stacy, and I was freaking out a tiny bit. I was literally like that creepy goth kid that's standing in the corner, like not talking to anyone. And all of a sudden, this girl came up to me. She had the Dan and Phil book in her hands. She's like, "Hi, I'm having everyone from the show sign my book. I thought it would be really cool to have like a yearbook type thing. Will you sign it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I started signing it, and she kind of like started getting closer to my face, and I was just like, "Okay." And she was like, "Oh my goodness, Sierra." And I was like, I've been standing talking to this girl for 5 minutes and I didn't realize it was Stacy. What the heck? So that's how we met. It was literally by accident. Finally, the security guards told us to line up to go in. And as soon as you walk in, immediately there is just music playing in the room. I believe it was Dan. He made a special playlist that plays within the whole venue while you're waiting for the show to start. And immediately as I walk in, Kiss You by One Direction was playing, and I was like, I'm in the right place right now. Thank you, Jesus. The pre-show part was actually one of my favorite parts of the show because everyone in the room knew every single song that was on the playlist, and we were all just like singing together as if we were this like freaking gospel choir. It was truly beautiful. I think I have a clip of that, so if I do, here it is. Faith that gives me strength. This is just a warning. This is where all the spoilers are gonna kind of start. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone by giving away some of the spoilers, but Tatinof is officially over, so I feel kind of okay talking about some of the stuff, so don't hate me. So the last song that plays on the playlist is my song's Know What You Did in the Dark by Fall Out Boy. Out of nowhere, halfway through the song, the whole room goes pitch black and you don't know what's going on, and then everyone in the room just starts screaming, so it's like, I wish I didn't come here. But yeah, so then that's how you know that the show started. And both Dan and Phil officially like come on stage and stuff. And I'm honestly having a hard time remembering like what they did when they first came on stage. I think they just walked on stage and started talking. I don't know. So basically the show is just like centered around the theme of what would happen if their videos were happening but in real life. So they kind of took video ideas that they've created and made it into like a theater skit. So basically the whole time, every single person in the venue was sitting cross-legged in their seats and like leaning into the row that was in front of them. And I thought it was the cutest thing in the world because we were all, no one was mad. No one was mad at anyone. We were just like all there for the same reason, and it's to see these two dudes from the internet that means so much to us. So I'm not gonna go through every single segment that they did because that will quickly turn this video into like an hour-and-a-half long video, and I just don't have the time for that. But one of my favorite segments that they did was, it was supposed to be like their Tumblr tag in real life kind of thing, which is where, okay, so at the show in the lobby area, they have this thing called Crafty Corner, and it's where people like basically make Dan and Phil fan art in real life form, and they drop it off at the Crafty Corner, and then before the show, Dan and Phil, they go through all the things, and then during their Tumblr tag in real life segment, they kind of like go through all the things and comment on it. So there were these two girls from Colorado that were sitting next to me, and they're maybe 16 years old, I think, and they made a like chest, like a treasure chest looking thing, and they painted it the colors of Dan and Phil's bedspreads, and on the inside they put a bunch of small beans and then put like little bean puns inside the thing. And yeah, so Dan and Phil picked that one, and they're like, it's literally a chest of small beans. And then I can't remember if it was Dan or Phil, but they both started like reaching inside the chest and chucking the beans at the crowd. Like, my show was really shockingly violent. I got to watch them like freak out and absolutely fangirl, so I thought that was so precious. Also, as some of you may know, June 12th was Dan's birthday show, so I was super blessed to be a part of that. I don't believe it was super different from any of the other shows. I know the one thing that did make the show unique was they had a contest to make a birthday card for Dan and Phil, and whoever won got their thing like talked about and stuff during the show by Dan and Phil. So I created one and I so thought it was gonna win. It was actually a girl who got the VIP experience. She made like one of those gigantic birthday cards, and when you opened it, it had like a cutout hole where you like stick your face in it. So that was the one that won. Yeah, I was sad, but it was really cute, so I'm happy for whoever won. Also, another highlight of the show, I can't remember what exactly was going on stage, but Dan and Phil were supposed to be acting like they were like all mad and huffy about something, and they would like stomp around the stage, and there was a moment where they started like walking faster and faster towards each other, and no one in the crowd said anything, but we were all thinking the same thing, like, oh my gosh, Dan and Phil are going to kiss right now. And as soon as they got like super close to each other, everyone like low key in the crowd was like, so then a last little highlight that I really enjoyed from the show, which was probably one of the most important ones, and this is a giant spoiler, so I'm sorry about that again, but at the end, Dan and Phil act like they're out of control, like they're being remote controlled and stuff. Like, side note, at that moment, they have these plates on stage. They're obviously paper plates, but they're made to look like real ones. And Dan and Phil, like, act like they can't control their body, so they start throwing the plates at the crowd. And Dan kind of threw a plate at a girl's face in the front row, so I was just like, buddy, fam, why? Anyway, so at the end, they discover that the person that they're being controlled by is a guy with a giant dill head, and like he's wearing like the dill clothes and everything. So Dill had a message for both the boys, and I'm not gonna tell you what the messages were, but both of them hit me really hard. I was walking back to my car, I was like, oh my gosh, I know like lots of people go to the Tatinof shows every day, but I truly felt like I was something like original and creative, you know, like I felt that's how the show makes you feel. It makes you feel like you're part of something so great and so important. And even though it's literally two guys from the internet, it really makes you feel like you are part of something that's revolutionary, and like this is gonna change the world one day. I have literally grown up with them. I started watching them when I was 14 years old, and honestly, like, it's not even Dan and Phil, it's a lot of YouTubers, a lot of musicians, a lot of people in my life that aren't famous in any way. Like, they have all inspired me to become something better for this world, and like I truly felt like it was my responsibility to be that change in the world. Dan and Phil really mean that much to me, and I feel like no matter how old I get, they are always going to mean that much to me. And honestly, they are one of the reasons why I started this. Like, I officially didn't want to start YouTube until after I met all the girls at VidCon, but each thing that I went to this summer made me want to do it more and more and more. This summer taught me a lot of things, and one of those things is to truly never give up on meeting those people that you love. For those of you who watch this channel who are still a bit younger, I was once in your place. 3 years later, I am meeting some of the people that have truly changed who I was as a person. I never thought that I was going to meet any of my favorite band members, and I never ever thought that I was going to afford to be able to go to VidCon. I didn't think that I was going to be confident enough to, first of all, put myself out there and meet new friends in a strange place. And I super did not think that I was going to make a collab YouTube channel with any of those people. So yeah, don't give up. Just give it some time, because you will continue to change and you will continue to be a better person. And honestly, the longer you wait for something, the more important it's gonna be when it finally does happen to you. So never ever give up on any of that. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. Again, I am so sorry that it included a lot of spoilers, but I really wanted to talk to you guys about my experience, because it's something that was very important to me, and it's something that really changed my life, and I want you guys to walk away feeling the same thing that I did when I saw the show. So yeah, I'm back every Sunday to watch me post videos, and yeah, if this is your first time watching me, I post pretty much everything that there is. I've been doing a lot of sit down and talk videos lately, but mostly I concentrate on beauty, fashion, makeup, stuff like that. So yeah, just come back every Sunday. That's gonna be it for this week. Bye, guys!